Continue this chapter flood routing. So in the last class we discussed about the different concept of this routing, both channel routing and reserve routing. Both concept we discussed, and reserve routing specifically we discussed in depth. Okay. So in today class we'll discuss the channel routing. Okay, in detail. The storage is a function of both outflow and inflow discharge, that we know. Channel routing, and to say that, as I told in the last class, that the determination of outflow discharge, outflow hydrograph, okay, using the inflow hydrograph at any upstream section of a river, that is called routing, channel routing. So this channel you can see here. Usually in case of flood, means flood wave is moving, is coming to the channel, is joining to the channel and again leaving. And this advancing of this flood, the slope will be like this. It will be a slope, means it is called gradual varied flow. So there will be gradual variation of the flow depth. Okay. So the total storage in volume, storage volume of this channel can be divided into two types: prism storage and wedge storage. Prism storage means the uniform flow depth, means the depth which or the storage which is formed, in the river, which would form if it were a uniform flow. Let it's not a GBA flow, it's a uniform flow. Then the storage formed in the channel, that storage is called prism storage. The wedge storage is due to GBF. Due to GBF, there will be advance of flood and there will be retardation of flood. Okay. Means during flood entering, it is called advance of flood, or during retardation of the flood means flood is leaving from the channel, means from that particular control volume. Okay. Prism storage, it is the volume that would exist if the uniform flow occur at the downstream depth. The volume formed by an imaginary plane parallel to the channel bottom drawn at the outflow section water surface. Means at the outflow section of the water surface here, the plane which is drawn, this plane which is drawn, parallel to the channel bed, okay, this storage is called, is from this outflow depth drawn parallel to the plane drawn parallel to the channel bed, that is called prism storage. And the wedge storage, the wedge like volume formed between actual water surface profile and the top surface of the prism storage. Means from the top surface of prism storage to the actual flow of the actual water surface of the flow. Okay. In between this, that volume which is formed, that is called wedge storage. At a fixed depth at a downstream section of a river edge, the prism storage is constant. Okay, from upstream to downstream. And the wedge storage changes from positive value at an advancing flood to a negative value during receding flood. This is the hydrograph. So this is called advancing flood, means, and this means this is the advancing flood, and this is the receding flood. This region is the receding flood. During this advancing flood, since the flow is entering into the channel, that is considered as positive wedge storage. And during this receding flood, the flood is leaving from this channel, that is called, leaving means, that means negative wedge storage. So the wedge storage changes from positive value at an advancing flood to a negative value during a receding flood. Okay, prism storage is constant. Storage is constant from upstream point to downstream point. So this is the concept of this storage in this channel routing. Next is the Muskingum equation, and this Muskingum equation is very popular in channel routing and it's very important. Okay, and it is widely used. This equation is widely used in the hydrology. The storage in Prism is K into Q, because there it does not depend upon the inflow, it depends upon the outflow, because it depends upon this outflow here, this outflow, because this here, as I told here, from this outflow surface, the if you draw the plane which is parallel to this bottom, okay, then you will get the Prism storage. So it depends upon this depth, outflow discharge or outflow depth. So that's why the S is K cube. The Prism storage is a K into Q. K is a constant. Storage in wedge. Storage in wedge, that means due to the advance of the plot. Okay, due to advance or due to the receding of the plot. This is the advance section and this is the receding section. Due to this triangle which is formed, due to this GBF you can say. Okay. So here S is K into X into I minus Q. So it depends upon I and Q both. It depends upon the Q outflow here discharge and depth, here inflow discharge and depth. Okay, inflow discharge and depth. So K into X into I minus Q. Kx is a constant also. So total storage of the channel of this trapezoidal shape. Okay, total storage of this channel. Okay. Kq plus Kx into I minus Q. So this equation can be written in this form, is equal to K whole into Xi plus 1 minus X into Q. And this equation is called Muskingum equation. You can see here in advancing stage, here this portion is I minus Q. The wedge storage depends upon the I minus Q. But in receding plot, the Q is more, I is less. So the storage is function of Q minus I. Okay. So here this S is equal to K whole into Xi plus 1 minus X into Q is called Muskingum equation. This is the storage equation which is widely used and very popular. What is this K and X? So this X is called weighting factor, or that is called weightage. The weightage given to the inflow and outflow. The value varies from 0 to 0.5. If we consider 0 value, X is 0 value, that means the total storage depends upon only the outflow. It does not depend upon the inflow. If we consider 0.5, then there is weightage of inflow and outflow 50-50%. There is equal weightage of inflow and outflow. If we consider 0, there is no weightage of inflow, only the storage depends upon the outflow. Okay, the K is called storage time constant and has the dimension of time, and it is nothing but the time of travel of a plot wave through the channel rays. It is the time, the K depends upon the time of travel of the plot wave. Okay. So this is about the Muskingum equation. Next is linear reservoir or linear storage. This is a particular case of this Muskingum equation. A is equal to K cube plus Kx into I minus Q. So if we consider this equation and if we put X equal to 0, which I told that when X equal to 0, the total storage will be function of outflow discharge only. K cube, S will be K cube. That means there is no weightage of inflow. So in this condition, in this situation, the such storage is called linear storage or linear reservoirs. Okay. Next is the Muskingum method of flood routing. Next is the flood routing, how flood routing is carried out using this Muskingum method. Using the Muskingum equation, as I told here in this, here Xi plus 1 minus X into Q is the total storage. So if we take the change in storage in time interval delta t, change in storage if we take in time interval delta t, then S2 minus S1 will be equal to K whole into X into change in inflow I2 minus 1 plus 1 minus X into change in outflow, that is Q2 minus Q. And Saint-Venant continuity equation, that we know, this is the Saint-Venant continuity equation that already we discussed. Okay, I think in the last class we discussed this Saint-Venant continuity equation. S2 minus S1, the change in storage is equal to I1 plus I2 by 2 delta T minus Q1 plus Q2 by 2 into delta T. So this is the continuity equation or the Sandman continuity equation which is used in this hydrologic routing. Okay, that already we discussed in the last class. So this equation and this equation must be same because this is the change in storage over the time interval delta T. This is the time interval delta T. If we equate these two equations, we will get the equation in this part. Q2 will get, because at least we are calculating Q2 value. Q1 is the initial outflow discharge, I1, I2 is the inflow. Okay, at a time interval T1 and T2 respectively. So you will get Q2 as C0 I2 plus C1 I1 plus C2 Q1, where C0 is minus kx plus 0.5 delta t divided by k minus kx plus 0.5 delta t. C1 is given by this expression and C2 is given by this expression. Okay, so here one interesting thing is that the C0 and C1 and the C2, these three constant, summation of these three constant is nothing but 1. Okay, these three constants are called Muskingum constants. These three constants are called Muskingum plot routing constants, C0, C1, C2. Okay. So first we have to calculate the C1 value, the C0 value, C1 value, and C2 value. Then we can put here in this equation. This is the main equation of this Muskingum plot routing. Q2 is equal to C0, I2 plus C1, I1 plus C2, Q1. So in this equation, if we put I2, I1 and Q1 value over the delta T time period and the initial discharge, outflow discharge if we know, then we can estimate a Q2 value. Okay, so for the best result, delta T you have to choose first. Delta T should be so chosen that it should be in between this K and 2kx. K and 2kx. Okay, so next procedure, the routing procedure. First, before starting this routing, we should know this K value, X value, and Q1 value for the first time step. For the first time step, the initial outflow discharge and this K and X value that should be known. And obviously, the inflow hydrogram must be given. Otherwise, the routing cannot be taken place, cannot be carried out. So inflow hydrogram, that obviously that should be known, and in addition to that, K value, X value, and Q1 value for the first time step should be known. Select the time interval delta T considering this condition. K should be more than delta T, should be more than 2kx. So delta T should be in between the K and 2kx. Then calculate C0, C1 and C2. Okay, using these three equations, okay, using these three expressions, you can calculate these values, these constants. Using I1 and I2 from inflow hydrograph and Q1 value are the end of the first time step. Q2 is calculated using Muskingum equation, Muskingum routing equation. The Q2 calculated in step C, in this step Q2 which is calculated becomes the Q1 step. So for the next time step, inflow, we have inflow data and Q1 will be Q2 for the previous this time step. Okay, repeat the calculation for the entire inflow hydrograph. Okay, so let's solve one example that all the problem will be clear, all the doubts will be clear. Route this following plot hydrograph through a river is for which Muskingum coefficient is K, which is equal to 8 hour and X is equal to 0.25. This is the inflow hydrograph which is given for different time value. Inflow discharge is given. The initial outflow discharge from the reach is 8 meter cube per second, means Q1 is given. Q1 is given. For the first time step, means initial outflow discharge from the reach is given, means before routing, before coming that inflow, this discharge were there. So initial discharge were there in the reach at that particular station. That discharge is 8 meter cube per second. So Q1 is given, inflow hydrograph is given, Kx value is given. So first we have to, from this, first we have to choose this delta T value. Okay, delta T is chosen as 4 hour. Okay, I think it must be satisfying this K and 2Kx. That condition it should satisfy. Okay, we should choose that accordingly. We should choose. So here I think this duration gap is given, delta T gap is given, the data is given at 4 hour duration. So that's why it is taken 4 hour. I think it must be that the K and 2Kx, that value. Okay, if we calculate, then K value is 8, 2Kx is 2Kx, 2 into K, that is 16 into 0.25, that is 4. Okay, so it should be in between this 4, 8, so 4 is chosen. Okay, because the data is given at 4 hour gap, so it will be easy to calculate. That's why. Otherwise, at any time interval it can be taken. Okay, first we have to take, we have to plot inflow hydrograph. We have to plot here inflow and the time. If we plot, then at any time period we can get the value from the plot. Okay, so it does not. It is not necessary that 4 hour that time gap which the data is given that will take. We can take it 6 hour, we can take 2 hour, can take 1 hour, anytime delta T value we can take. So once the delta T, K and X value is delta T value is chosen specifically, the C naught, okay, can be calculated using this expression, C1 can be calculated using this expression, and C2 can be calculated. We should check whether it is 1 or not. C naught, C1, C2. It is 0, 0.5, it is 0.5. So this total is 1. So for the first time interval 0 to 4 hour, here you see 0 to 4 hour, I1 is given, I2 is given. I1 is given, I2 is given. So C1 I1 you can calculate, C2 C naught I2 you can calculate, and Q1 initial discharge is given, outflow discharge Q1 is given. So C2 Q1 you can calculate. So Q2 will be, we are applying this Muskingum routing equation, we will get this as 8. Okay, so this is for first time step, Q2 is 8. So for next time step, from this 4 to 8, this will be your I1, this will be I2, and Q1 will be Q2 of the previous time step, that is 8. Q2 of the previous time step, that is 8. The first time step we have calculated Q2 as 8. So for the next time step 4 to 8, the Q1 will be 8 meter cube per second. So this table you can see time, this data is given, inflow data is given, and C, this is the C naught I2, this value we can write directly, different I2, and because here I2 for this 0, this is I2 value, you can show C naught is 0, so total value will be 0, 0.5 I1, C1 I1, this is C1 I1. Okay, we can calculate, then C2 C2 Q1. For this, then Q2 you have to calculate it. So it is 8. So Q1 will be for this, for the time 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12. Like this, you have to calculate. Okay. So this finally the final the outflow hydrograph will be obtained. This will be an inflow hydrograph. This will be outflow hydrograph. Next topic is estimation of Kx. If Kx is not given, how to calculate this Kx? To determine Kx value, the inflow and outflow hydrograph must be known. If you don't have the inflow and outflow graph, then the Kx can never be determined. Okay, this is a calculate trial and error method. You have to choose different values. Okay, and if you have inflow and outflow data, the incremental storage S2 minus S1 can be determined. Then accumulated storage is calculated from inflow and outflow data using the continuity equation as given by this. Using this independent continuity equation, we can determine change in storage for different time steps, and the accumulated value means the actual storage, the total storage at different time can be calculated. Okay. By choosing the trial value of X, we have to choose a trial value between 0 to 0.5, any one value we have to choose. The value of xi plus 1 minus x into q, there is a Muskingum, this Muskingum equation, okay, xi plus 1 minus x into q, that we can calculate. Because inflow outflow we have data we have, so an x value we have to choose, one trial value we have to choose. Then the graph is plotted between s, this s value, and this xi plus 1 minus x cube. If it is in x-axis, it's y-axis for different value of x. Okay, means it is in this form equal to actual change in storage mx plus c in this form. Mx c is 0, mx. So here it will be slope. So here finally the best value is chosen, which gives straight line plot. The best value of the x, different value of x, not only one value, different value of x, trial value of x we have to choose, and we have to check whether the line is straight or curve, or it is a loop. If it is nearly curve, nearly a straight line, then that x value will be the final value. Okay, finally the best value is chosen, which gives the straight line plot. And here s equal to k whole into xi plus 1 minus x cube. This is the Muskingum equation. So here this is in this form y equal to mx. It means since here s is taken in x-axis and y is in y-axis, this value xi plus 1 minus x into q, that value is taken. So k value will be obtained by taking the inverse of the slope of the straight line. This slope, inverse of the slope, will give the k value. If we take, it is optional, if we take this storage in y-axis and this xi and 1 plus 1 minus x y cube, that this value, if we take in x-axis, then slope will give you the k value. Okay, it is optional. We can take in x or y, it is up to the user. Okay, so for different value of x, we have to try. Okay, we have to try, we have to see whether the curve is loop, means is a loop curve or it is a straight line curve. When it is straight line curve, then that value will be the final value. Let's consider this example. The following inflow and outflow hydrograph were observed in a river is estimate the value of k and x applicable to this is using the Muskingum equation. So here inflow hydrograph is given, outflow hydrograph is given for different time steps. So here I just told that actually in the question it is asking to calculate the k and x value. Inflow hydrograph is given, I is given, q is given. So I minus q can be calculated, and average I minus q can be calculated. The change in storage is calculated from that Muskingum, this Shen-Bennett content equation. The cumulative value will give you the storage at the particular all the particular time step. Okay, so the accurate value means the storage is calculated. Okay, then the xi plus 1 minus x cube is calculated by assuming x value. First we have to assume that x is assumed 0.35, next trial it is assumed 0.3, next trial it is assumed 0.25. At 3 assumption is taken, 3 trial value is taken for the x, and this xi plus 1 minus x cube, 1 minus x into cube is calculated here. Okay, I is here, this I is here, q is here. So using these two values, we can calculate this value. Okay, so here the graph is plotted between this s and this value. So here for the x equal to 0.3 means considering this 0.3. Okay, 0.3 means this value, this column and this column. The graph is plotted. It is a loop curve. Next 0.35, considering this data and this data. Again it is a loop curve. So in y-axis it has taken x plus 1 minus x into q. In x-axis it has taken x storage value. Next, as x equal to first x equal to 0.25, the curve is plotted between this data and this data. Here it is approximately straight line. The curve is straight line. Okay, so finally the x equal to 0.25, that is chosen as accurate value, and k value will be inverse of the slope. Inverse will be, slope will be 30 divided by this from here to here. Here if you take 400, 30 by 400, but inverse will be 400 by 30, which is 13.3 hour. Okay, so inverse we are taking because in y-axis we have taken this value and x-axis we have taken storage. If storage if we take only y-axis, then the total slope will give you the k value. Inverse is not required to take. Okay, so finally the x value is 0.25, k is 13.3 hour. Okay, so this is about the flood routing. So with this, the chapter is completed here. Thank you so much.